you all are tuning in with us today. This is a day that, I always say this. This is a day that the Lord has made, and we should rejoice and always be glad in it. Listen, we have a wonderful ministry to do with you all today. And one of the questions is about curfew. Um, is it okay for your child, somebody 18, actually under 18 and 18 or and over, or just someone living with you to just come home, or someone that's lived with you to just come home when they want to, or come to your house when they want to, and any hours of the night and things of that nature. So we want to just talk about that a little bit to see what and see some of your comments. So be sure to comment on all of our platforms. So we're talking about curfew. Should you have a curfew, or should you just let someone come to your house any hour, any time of the day? So, what do you think, First Lady?
Well, personally, no, they can't come and go anytime of the day or night. I think when a child turns 18, they are considered an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But at 18, when they break a law, they become responsible.
Yeah.
So the same is true in home at your home. When you're 18, you become responsible, and your parents, not all, but some parents do have curfews set for their children, and they are set for you to be responsible and to abide by that curfew.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about the word curfew. When we think about that word curfew, let's look at it from the state, from viewing it from the state of California. I know that when I was a child, I was always taught at 10 o'clock p.m., between 10 o'clock p.m. and 5 o'clock, I think it was 10 o'clock p.m. and 5 o'clock a.m., if I were anyone under 18 years of age, need to be at home or with an adult. I know that that law is probably not in California anymore, but it was a curfew. And it was a curfew because of a reason. And the reason, I believe, is because of somebody that's under 18 really is not ready to be out past 10 o'clock, uh, unsupervised, and all of that. So you all let us know, talk back to us, let us know that you're there. And as we get on with this particular segment of you ask, we answer. All right. So uh, just thinking about that, just thinking about the curfew. My mother told us, make sure that when you come home, that you don't come home. In fact, we had a light pole out in front of our house, and some parents say, "Don't." What they say, when the sun go down, be
Don't let the sun beat you or something, beat you home, or
yeah,
don't let
yeah,
the sun go down
yeah. Don't let the sun go down
before you make it home.
before you make it home, or something like that. And all of that is a reason, because in Proverbs, I think I want to say Proverbs. I can't think of the particular scripture now. It's like something like 29:15 or something like that, and it talks about uh, a parent that doesn't discipline,
Mm.
is going to ruin the child. And I'm gonna look for that scripture. I believe it's in Proverbs. As she go on, I'm gonna look that up so I can just get that to you.
Well, I think children have been taught, a lot of them from a young age, that when they turn 18, they grown.
Uh-huh.
Parents tell them, when you turn 18, you grown. Well, I believe you grown when you spell grown, GROWN, when you grow on your own. Yes, you are an adult, but when you are grown, then you become self reliant, self sufficient. You're able to handle your full responsibility on your own. So, parents and society have taught us that 18, you become grown. Well, in our household, when you grown, you grow on your own. That means you're self sufficient.
Uh-huh.
You can, have full responsibility for yourself.
So having full responsibility, I don't know. I just think we're just not ready to be out at after 10 o'clock. What go on after 10 o'clock for a child under 18?
Oh, so under 18?
Right now we're talking about under 18. And then we talk about our own house rules. You know, house rules. If somebody over 18, I still have rules at my house. You just don't come in my house when you get ready. At a certain time, I expect for my door. Once my doors are closed, it's kind of like that movie. It was a scary movie out we watched years ago. When the clock strikes 12, when the clock strikes 12, I don't want nothing really coming in my door. That's not superstitious. I just want to get some rest. I don't want nobody coming in and out of my house. You know. Well, what do you think?
Well, I think when a curfew is set, whoever is in your house, I look at it like this: your child that's 18 plus, you treat that child as your child, but in a sense as a guest. Mm-hmm. So when a guest comes to your house, you don't let that guest run over your house. You don't let them break your rules and your regulations. They have to abide by them. So the same is true with your kid.
Yeah.
When you set a time for curfew, you expect them to be in. When a child is late, when they break that curfew and they're late, they have a responsibility to call their parents and let them know what's going on. Just don't break your curfew. Come home at whatever time you feel like it and say, oh, this and this was happening. No, talk to your parent as you break in the curfew and let them know the reason. It could be, like a storm or something that you just couldn't make it in on time. Whatever the reason is, just be in communication with your parent, because when you're outside of the home, our doors are locked. But when you come and stick that key inside that door, our house is like a city without walls. Now those doors are open and anybody can come in right behind you. So you open up our household when you are disobedient and breaking your curfew.
Here that scripture is right here in Proverbs 29 and 14 through 15. It says this: the rod and rebuke gives wisdom, but a child left to himself brings shame to his mother. So what that text is saying in the Hebrew is saying that if we don't discipline our children, we're teaching them not to have wisdom. Well, I'll put it like this. The word rod in this text, it means to chasten, it means to discipline, but you're disciplining them because you're training them up.
Because you love them.
And because you love them. The Bible says train up a child in the way that should go. So any child that don't want to be trained, and one of the ways of training them is giving them a curfew. You give your child a curfew, say, this is what time you have to come home. And then this also shows, when we're looking at God in the book of Proverbs, it shows us how we're going to even be acting as a Christian, because the whole Bible deals with rules and regulations. Mm-hmm. Jesus says, thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witnesses, and various things that the Bible says. So us training, so God uses this Proverbs, and it talks about the rod and rebuke gives wisdom, but a child that left to himself brings shame to his mother. That is saying you just a person that's just out there doing what you want to do without any discipline. And that's not what the whole Bible basically is about: discipline. You know what I'm saying? Blessings, following instructions. Some people don't want to follow anymore. They want to be like that child that's bringing forth shame to his mother. And, so when we look at that like that, but Bible-based, saying that if we don't train our children up and give them some curfew, give them some discipline, and the reason is, not only we don't want to be nervous about them out there 2 or 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, but we want to see if they can even be disciplined.
Well, you want to give them some responsibility.
Yeah.
And I know some of y'all out there, I know y'all saying, I'm 18, I'm grown, I can come in whenever I get ready. Well, let me help you right there. If you 18 and you're adult, and you considered an adult, but you're an adult, but to be a grown-up independent is different. If you're 18 and older and you're a grown-up and you're independent, not just a grown-up or an adult, But if you're independent,
Mm-hmm.
then you have some say so, because then again, you're self reliant, you're
Yeah.
self sufficient.
Yeah.
You're not going to be in your parents' home. But as long as you're in your parents' home, I don't care if you're 18, 28, 38, or 48.
My house got rules. I don't care if you're 70. You 70 years old, you're not gonna come dragging up in my house at 2 and 3 o'clock, waking me all up, knocking over knocking over stuff. And I remember my dad used to come home. I know he was grown and I was in his house. But 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, drunk, coming back from the Elks and stuff, knocking over skillets, just making noise and just doing a lot of stuff. So I'm just saying that in my house, I don't care what your age is, that you should have some rules in your house. If someone is living with you, even if they're visiting, they at least need to call you and say, listen, Mr. or Mrs. or Uncle Annie or brother or sister, I'll be there around this particular time, so that we at least know that what time you're coming in, because nowadays people are strapped. You know what I mean by strapped? I mean, they got guns. And so you just can't just come walking up in somebody's house now. That's what this world has become. People have bars on their doors now. They have all of this stuff for protection, so that when they close their house down, when the house strikes for the youth, 10 o'clock, and then for over 18, to me, 12, I'll give you one. But after that, you need to go to a motel or something like that, because it's gonna be hard for you to become walking up in my house at that particular time, because that ain't the way I trained you. That ain't the way you're not gonna change how we run stuff at this house.
What's out there after
12 and 1 o'clock?
12 and 1 o'clock. I mean,
evil. Really? Evil is out there. And most of the time, not all the time, sometimes you may be out witnessing to somebody, talking about them, talking to Jesus Christ, talking about Christ, talking to them about God and all that kind of stuff. But if you're doing all that, you need to make a phone call. You need to say, look, mom, dad, cousin, uncle, whoever it is, I'm out here witnessing to somebody about Jesus Christ or whatever, and give them that benefit of the doubt. But at the end of the day, you can do that the next day.
I think most times when you're having a problem with your curfew and breaking your curfew, if you are being sincere, you won't have a problem calling and letting your parent or whoever's house it is you live in, letting them know what's really going on. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes when we're doing what we're not supposed to be doing, and we break our
most
curfew,
of the time,
we're not calling. We're not gonna call and say nothing. We're gonna try to sneak in. Y'all, we've been there. We done that. We know just what you're talking about.
Yep.
But listen, when you turn 18 and you say you've grown, then I got a question for you. Why don't you have your own spot?
Listen, when I was 15, 16, 17, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I wasn't no saint. But 16, 15, 16, 17 years old, I was not I would have to sneak. I did sneak in. Come on, y'all. Come on now. I did crack the window, sneak out the window and go do what I wanted to do, and just sneak back in and all that. I did all of that kind of stuff. I got caught one time, though, doing that. I got caught one time. My mother was just sitting there waiting. Oh, so you grown, huh? And come walking up in that door. Because it worries her. It worried them for us to be out running the streets 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And you really don't have any. What are you doing? Like she said, what are you doing at 2, 3 o'clock? What you're doing is you're kissing somebody. Y'all all up against a car or something, doing or in the park or whatever you doing that ain't got no business doing. And we're going in the dark, come out in the light, right? So that's another old saying. We have to teach y'all that one day. But I think after 10 o'clock, if you're under 18 years old, just like the curfew is, whenever it's implemented in the state of California, you need to be at home. Under 18 need to be at home. You can't even drive a car. They even got rules for even driving cars. I think you can start at 15 and a half, but you have to have somebody with you. And even with you between 18 and 25, you got between 18 and 25, you can't even be out driving after hours. Mm-hmm. But people do it anyway. I'm saying everything has rules. Your house, Jesus Christ gave us rules. God gave us rules to follow. And anybody that don't want to follow rules is going to have a problem following Christ. I agree. Mm-hmm.
So how many of you think that you should have a curfew? If you have a child, or as we consider them, guests in your home, Do you think you should have a curfew for them, or should they be able to come and go as they please?
Let me hear.
Let us see it in the comments.
Yeah, let's hear it in the comments. Let us see some of the young folk. Some of you young people that's watching. Why do you think you grown?
Why do you think you shouldn't have a curfew?
Yeah, why do you think you should not have a curfew, and you could just come to your mom and dad's house when you get ready? 1, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, why do you even think that? Would you want your kids to treat you like that? No. That's just a no. I mean, so.
Well, one lady was sharing with me today when her son would break his curfew, and that's what many of us parents would do. We just lock the door. We're going to lock you out. We will lock you out. And like Pastor said, you're going to have to find a hotel, motel, your friend's floor, or somewhere else to stay that night. Because once that door is locked after you break that curfew, we're not opening that door.
But I tell you one thing, I don't know what you guys' time is. Our time for our kids, and in fact, our kids didn't even think about coming running up and out. They didn't
go like that.
They didn't go like that. They didn't go out like that. Not if they wanted to live.
Well, somebody said they think it depends on if you're a good student, if you're responsible, and etc. So you think you shouldn't have a curfew, Crumbaz, if you're okay? You said no later than like 12. Okay. And how old are you approximately? Are you 18 and over, or are you under 18, Crumbaz, with that 12 o'clock curfew?
And then, people, young people say, well, they're at their friend's house studying.
That group study.
Yeah, group study. Yeah, group. Yeah, I was group studying too. That's why I got these kids, group studying. You know what I'm saying?
You wasn't group studying. You were studying anatomy.
Yeah, so kids need to know that us as parents, we're not slow. We know that when you out at a certain time at night, after 12 o'clock, you're not, most of the time you're not group studying, unless you what you say, anatomy studying. You're anatomy studying, yeah.
Crumbaz said, like at 17, it should be around 12 o'clock. Well, I think curfews can fluctuate though.
Where?
They can fluctuate based on where the person is
12
going.
12 o'clock, that's midnight.
Listen, depending on where they're going.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, but I'm saying depending on the event, you can probably extend it, maybe an hour.
Not coming home by, I know what you're saying, but not coming home by themselves. If one of my kids say, Dad, I'm going to be over aunt's house, aunt, uncle's house, or whatever, and I wonder if I can stay a little bit later. Guess who coming to pick them up? Me. I'm going over that house and getting my kids. If they want to stay there at 12 o'clock and we allow them to stay there at 12 o'clock, you're not coming home on your own. I'm coming to get you.
Yep.
Because it's dangerous out there.
That's right. And that's what one of the viewers is saying. For safety purposes, you still coming in at a certain time. Just because you 18, that just make you 18.
And somebody said school dances. When most schools, I think when they put it on a program, when the schools are putting on something, they usually out about what, 11? And then we all know this. We all know what time that the school program is over with. And I know with my kids at 12 o'clock, if it's over with, if you're going to the school dance over with about 10, they have to be over with about 10 because the schools have to obey the curfew law, which is 10 o'clock in most states. So
but even with the school dances, we had our kids call and ask if they could go and eat. They want to go to Denny's afterwards.
And call us and let us know where they at.
They called and asked if they could go rather than just go and then say, I'm late because we went to Denny's afterwards. That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful, and it's immature for your grown self.
Yeah, you ain't grown till you gone.
Right, grow on your own.
Grow on your own. Yeah, you got that right. Because it's the Bible is clear. If we don't discipline the whole Bible is about discipline, and life is about discipline. Even the state of California and other states have curfew. They have rules. You just should not be like a loose cannon. The problem, there's something else I want to share a little bit about our youngsters between 15, 17, 18 years old. sometimes we could I mean, if you strap your kids down too much, I mean, where they can't do anything. I mean, can't do anything, and you always own them. Once they get a little older and they get grown or whatever, they're not going to have any street sense. You know what I mean? So I think there's a little balance there to a degree. Every now and then you may let your child just to test them out because you want them to have street sense, because that's just like tying a dog up in the backyard or whatever. Once you let that dog loose, he's gonna go up against every tree out there, if you know what I mean. you know. So I mean, what do you all keep talking back to us?
Well, somebody said at least 2 a.m. for those who go to party.
No, 'cause I was at the party too.
What that mean?
I was at a whole lot of party. Party mean kissing. Party mean being in somebody's stinking house. Everybody musty, and they doing their dance and meet. And then all this going on, and then some of them outside all by their cars, and somebody in the back. Y'all know that. Come on, y'all, walk with me now. You know what kind of party? You talking about a school party, a slumber party? You talking about a sleepover, or are you talking about a house party? A house party, you can't even know how to do those anymore because those are getting shot up.
So parents, why do we have curfews in place? One parent said for safety. I say we have it for safety and because we love and we care about our kids. So, we want to know when you come in. Because if you don't make it in at that appointed time, then that alarm goes off with the parent and we figure something is wrong or something happened that you didn't make it in.
Yeah, parties and I mean, just being in a restaurant eating and all that stuff still make a parent worry about where you're at. And why do a child want to put their parents through that worry? I worry about my kids. My kids are oldest is 37, 38 years old. I still worry about. I want her to put me on her. What's the phone thing? On find your friends. I want all my kids, even my boys. If y'all listening to me, I want to be on your find your friends. I want to know where you at. You my seed. You came from me. I know you grown, but you still our kids. And we want to know. And Candace used to have me on there, but she threw me under the bus. I think I'm still on there with Candace. Candace, put me back on your find. In fact, tell Reggie to put me on his find my friends. I want to know where everybody. I want to be on all my kids, find my friends. Kanisha, Kelsey, especially my girls. I want to know where y'all at, where you all are at.
I like that, Marilyn. A parent never sleeps well when a child is out all night. When they are that grown, they need their own place. I agree. We don't sleep well. That's what kids don't understand. They think we just don't want them to go. Oh, you just don't want me to go. No, it's not that I don't want you to go. It's that you don't know how to come home.
Then you can have a car flat. Now you got to get us up 2, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning out there on some street somewhere, jacking your car up, fixing your tire. I mean, it's a lot going on. And then we worried about the police department. Sometimes, they just pull you over. And not all of them. We got some great cops out there, but some of them are out there just messing with people. And so they'll just pull you over, and next thing you know, stuff starts escalating, and you start saying stuff, and next thing you know, you're calling us from jail.
Hi, Elijah.
You know what I mean? So it's a very difficult situation. So I would say for the young people, don't put your parents through that level of stress.
Right, because nobody, like the parents said, nobody want to get that call at 2:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, 4 in the morning. What are you doing out there at that time of morning? Not even night. It's another morning. It's a new day.
And you know what? I'm going to say this. At right about 11, between 11 and 12 and 1, right at p.m. and going into 1 a.m., the demons change. It's another spirit kind of takes over. You know what I mean? It's another type of evil,
Somebody say their parents be knocked out snoring.
It's another, there's a shift, I think, after 10 o'clock. Anything after 10 o'clock p.m., to me in life, there's a shift. It's like the devil the devil of violence, the devil of being mannish. And it's just a shift. Things start happening around that time. to me. People, it's just too much. So when we're talking about curfew, I think anybody that's living at their parents' house, or if you under 18 years old, or even if you're over 18, if you're a person that has discipline and a family, if you are a homeowner, living in an apartment or whatever, I think you should have some rules in your house, and I think you should stick to them and be strong, because you're teaching that child, and you're teaching people that want to come over your house that they're not just going to be coming in and out of your house whenever they get ready, any time of the day.
Well, I think children and whoever it is, the guests in the house, they need to be more considerate of their parents, of their parents' rules, and understand that they're put in place not to hurt you, not to harm you, but to help you.
Yeah, you're training them up like Proverbs 29:15 is talking about.
Don't look at us like the enemy. We're not your enemy. We're your parents. We're your friends.
We're looking out. Yeah, we want what's best for you. I want to know what my kids going out of town. I know you're grown, but I still want to know.
And look, when you go to that party on the weekend, remember, you can't live your whole life on that one weekend. It's going to be another party.
Yeah.
So be obedient to your curfew. That way your parents, they're more apt to let you go to the next party if you come in, on time. So what's some reasons why we have these curfews, parents? We said for safety. We don't want to get that call early in the morning. We have them because we love them. We don't want no hurt, harm, or danger to come up on them.
We're teaching them. We're training a child up in the way that they should go.
Training them
so
up.
that when they get old, they will not depart from it. Meaning that when they get older, they'll train their kids up.
Teaching them discipline.
The whole Bible is about discipline. So every parent, every home should have a curfew, should have some discipline in your house, and it should have consequences if they don't do what you ask them to do, like not getting in.
Right.
But it's gonna be hard. I know. We know. If your daughter comes home 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you're just gonna let them on in. I understand that, but you got to find some type of a discipline. If they have a cell phone that's in your name, turn the cell phone off.
You got to be some consequences.
You got to be some consequences for their actions. You just can't be fussing and let them go on back doing what they was doing. I mean, sometimes you fuss until you what in the face, blue in the face, and that don't work. You have to have some discipline, because even the Bible gives us discipline. Jesus says he spared the rod, you spoil the child. He disciplines us. He allows decisions that we make. He allows us to reap what we sow on a whole lot of things. He just don't let us as his children do anything that we want to do. He gave us rules.
Because he chastened them that he loved.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
So when we talk to our children about a curfew, we can't just talk to them about a curfew, y'all. The first thing, we're going to have to establish that curfew, okay? Once we establish that curfew, we're going to have to discuss that curfew, because, kids and guests sometimes act like, oh, I didn't really understand what you were saying. So we're going to have to establish it. We're going to have to discuss it. We're going to have to get clarity beforehand, before you leave out that door. Write your expectations down on a paper if you have to, so that some people are visual. Once they see it, then they got it. So if you have to write it down, write it on a piece of paper.
Once they see that belt, they got it. I mean, once they see that belt, they got it. Now, I know you can't. Okay, I'm sorry, United States. I know y'all say we can't discipline, but let me tell you something. At my house, well, pray for me.
Yeah, if you come home, crumb bears, at 11:30 because of work, that's different. That's not your parents setting a curfew saying you have to be in at a certain time. And in that instance, your parents know you're at work and you're coming home after you get off at 11:30. So if you live 20 minutes away from that job, you should be home at 11:50.
Right.
Okay? So it's different. That's different. So we got to enforce our curfew, y'all.
Well, technically speaking, under 16, under 17, under 18, I believe it is, you have to let them all work by 10 o'clock anyway. right? Yeah, they can't work you after 10 o'clock. I believe that in the state of California, they can't work you after 10 o'clock, and in most states. Now, if you're over 18, yeah, you still need to let that person you're living with know what time you're gonna be off, instead of come walking in there at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right. That's true, Marilyn. These kids, they think we don't know nothing. We done been that
Yeah.
age. We've been there. We've done that. And like Solomon says in the Bible, ain't nothing new under the sun.
You got that right. But we don't want to beat on the children. We want to let them know.
No crumb bears, no get McDonald's afterwards. Go home and eat.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Mom, we just decided after 12 o'clock, after we got off work, we went and sat in Denny's for 3 hours. You know, we ain't buying that. You can have Denny's in your house. Go there, fit some pancakes. You know, always saying is for you young ones that are listening to us, we're just trying to let you know that what you reap, what you sow. And you're going to be saying the same things that we are saying now to your own children. So get these nuggets now and train them up the way they should go. Teach them while they're young, so that you don't have to be worried about them when they get older and start making their own decisions. So you really need to take heed to what we're saying right now, and don't be argumentative. And then if you're a child listening, listen to your parents. Do what they're asking you to do. They say be at home by 10 o'clock, then you do that. You do exactly what they say. If they say be home by 12 o'clock, do that. Now, if they say be home by 1, 2 o'clock, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, I got an issue with the parents. Unless there's a really good reason. I'm talking about a really good reason. I'm not talking about outside your front door. I didn't even want my kids outside my own front door at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So we got to train the child up. You got to have rules. Listen, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Home Alone, and all the rest of them. I'm just playing. You gotta have, Periscope and all that stuff. You have to have rules. You have to have discipline. You have to have some type of standards in your house. Now, we're getting ready to get off of here by another minute. So, anything else you have, sweetheart?
I was just saying, to set the curfew, explain the curfew, let them know what your expectations are. You got to enforce the curfew. Don't let them keep coming with excuses. Some of them are going to be legit, but if you see a child that's just been disobedient and just continue to break curfew and coming with lame excuses, then you're going to have some consequences.
Yeah.
So let them know when their curfew is, what they should do when they're running late, and the consequences they're going to face if they break their curfew. Expect them, y'all, to live by the curfew that you give them.
Enforce it.
Teach them that it's important to follow the rules and treat others, their parents, or whoever's house they live in, treat them with respect.
Yeah.
And being part of being a responsible family member involves coming home at the established curfew time.
Yeah.
That's just being responsible, y'all. So like I said, if they continue being rebellious and breaking the curfew, then it's time to get their own spot. Proverbs 29:17 says, correct your son and he will give you comfort. He will also delight your soul.
Yes.
So there's no problem with correction.
No problem. Listen good. Listen good. Listen to 57, getting ready to be 58-year-old pops with 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls. Listen good. If you don't discipline your children, and if you don't have some rules in your house, you're going to be taking care of you can be taking care of your son or your daughter and their baby. All right? So
one of the ladies said curfews are enforced for partying because it's my house, and after midnight and 1 a.m. ain't nothing going on but hanky-panky.
I know that, right? Listen, if you don't have some curfew, you're gonna be rocking somebody's babies. All right?
Cecil said their bag's gonna be at the front door.
I know that's right.
You ain't gonna even have to wait for them to pack their bags. You gonna
but it's hard. For them, huh? But it's hard with your daughters.
Why?
It's hard with your daughter.
So you
That's how you
being
discipline.
biased, you being
No, well,
partial.
they're girls. We can't just throw them out there in the streets. But
No, see, the thing is, remember we talked about discipline.
yeah,
We talked about
take
responsibility.
the cell phone,
We
take the car
always,
keys from the girls.
good evening.
Uh-huh.
We didn't put them out. Their choices put them out.
Yeah, yeah.
So parents, don't let your kids manipulate you. Don't let them put you on a guilt trip. When you have had this conversation over and over and over with your child, and your child still decides they want to be disrespectful and disobedient and grown and an adult and all that good stuff, I'm like, Cecil, pack their bags.
Yeah, but you know what? We be saying that.
I said pack their bags. I didn't say put them out. I said pack their bags.
I hate to use the word.
Faith without works is dead.
But I'm trying not to use the word we be saying that. I know that's not a good correct language.
That's okay. Y'all understand it.
We be saying that.
Because what had happened was they don't listen.
Yeah, what had happened was.
Y'all already know the language. Y'all know the jargon. Don't play, okay? So if we pack their bags,
discipline,
that will make them at least feel like, oh my goodness.
You can scare them.
Exactly.
You can scare them.
Something is happening. But if you keep on, come on, let's take it to the table, sit down, talk. You're going to talk to you blue in the face. They're going to have to see some action.
I remember one of my kids got mad at me. They were going to run away. Who was that? Was that Kayla said he was going to run away?
Evanis Ortiz said, beat him. You will not kill him.
So somebody said that one of my kids, I think a long time ago, said that they wanted to run away. I think I packed their bags for them and put them
that never happened.
What, it didn't?
Oh, you was dreaming.
Maybe I was dreaming.
Hey, none of my kids.
No, they never.
If they did say it, they didn't tell me.
It was
they must
quick.
have been mad at you. Did you do something?
Oh, they probably did. But I know I packed their bags.
You didn't pack no bags. That didn't happen, y'all.
All right, I'm just playing with y'all. But
we have 6 children. Esteban.
3 boys and 3 girls.
I can't say the name, but we have 3 and 3.
Yeah, 3 and 3, and all of them are doing great.
And we have 11 grandchildren.
And I don't think none of them are going to let their child come walking in their house at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's why we know a little bit about a whole lot, Esteban.
That's why we know a little bit about a whole lot. We don't profess to know everything. But we know a little bit about a whole lot. You know, so we can get ready to go, y'all. We're already 40 minutes. It's supposed to be 15 minutes when we started, and y'all keep talking to us and making us keep going.
Take away TikTok.
Yeah, y'all done ran out our curfew, which is supposed to be 15 minutes.
Oh, we could take away that gaming setup, huh?
Yeah, take the computer away. Take the computer away.
Hey, there go gaming with Kev.
Yeah, gaming with Kev. There you go. Take the computer away. Take it. But you know what? I did that with my kids, not for curfew.
Oh, yeah.
But them jokers knew how to hook that thing back up. They had, them jokers had some Cat 5 cables and stuff hid. They had stuff hid. I thought I was taking something away. They had a trap for me.
Oh yeah.
When I leave and come back, the computer back on. So that's one of the reasons why they're so successful in the gaming and in the computer stuff, because they used to be not listening to their dad when they was coming up.
Or their mom. We would wake up and we would see the light underneath the crack of the door. They would be up on their computers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said, Lord have mercy. But
it paid off.
It paid off. I guess that one paid off. We didn't have to kill him, but it paid off. All right, you guys.
Remember, be respectful when you have a curfew, and if you feel like you're being mistreated or they're not being fair with the curfew, then you might consider getting your own place. It might be time to consider getting your own place.
Yeah. You don't want to be, you're not grown until you're gone, like you said.
Grow on your own.
Grow on your own. Right. So, and then if you're an adult, still, it doesn't matter. People's homes have rules. Mm-hmm. If you're over 18, I don't care if you're 50, you're not going to come walking up in my house at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
You know, so it's just out, unless you're coming from work or coming from somewhere that we know, you know, maybe it's a family reunion going on, or something that's probably going on within the family, and everybody's kind of coming home late, but not just you just going out and just changing the atmosphere of my house. That's not going to happen.
Crumbear said, don't take the computer away. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, take the computer. Take Crumberry. Who is it? Take Crumbear's computer. They don't need it. Take the computer.
That's only if you're being disobedient.
Only if you're being disobedient.
And breaking your curfew.
And take the car keys. And make sure they didn't make a duplicate because these kids are slick.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, you guys. We're getting ready to let you all go. Thanks for watching us. Remember, you ain't grown till you're gone. Remember, I don't care how old you are, there should be a curfew in somebody's house. You shouldn't let nobody just come in and out when they get ready. Mm-hmm. All right?
Gotta be responsible.
Gotta be responsible. And what else?
Hey, Terry, how you doing?
We see you, Terry. We see you, Terry. Tell them, Terry, they ain't grown till they gone.
She said she feel the same way. See, we was raised the same, y'all.
Yeah. That's my great cousin, Terry. Listen, y'all. Listen. Let me look you in your eyeball. I know my eyes is probably tired but they're not tired from my kids coming home 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. That I can tell you. What did Donald Trump say? That I can tell you. All right. Anyway, you guys, you're not grown till you're gone. Curfew, 10 o'clock.
If not, you get locked out.
12 o'clock at the most. But
it depends on your parent.
Yeah.
You know, every parent is different.
But so anyway, you guys, listen. We love everybody. What happened?
Evangelist Ortiz said she'll put that on her front door. You ain't grown till you go.
And you know what? I like that. You know, I'm gonna be honest.
Thank you, Elijah.
I'm gonna be honest, you guys. It's hard when you have a daughter or a son because we don't want to put them out. But you have to do something or they will run over you.
Well, I think like the first offense, you just don't put them out. You continue, you talk to them.
Let them see the door crack.
You talk to them and you get a better understanding and let them know, your feelings and what your expectations are. But if you see a pattern of them continuing to just blatantly disregard what you have to say, then you are not putting them out, parent. They are putting themselves out. That's a consequence to their action.
Right.
That's all.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
I mean, we have to get to the point where we can't be feeling guilty for the actions that they take when we have already talked to them over and over and over and over. When do we start taking action?
Now, we get ready to leave you. We got to leave you guys, but I have one more thing. Because I'm going to say just one more thing. I got a whooping for coming home late. Now, I know they say you can't get whoopings anymore, but my dad had a big old long switch. I mean, it was at least 6 feet. The switch was at least 6 feet. And it's the one that you can, when you pull the leaves out, they just kind of come off real easy. Y'all know the ones the leaves just kind of slide off real easy.
Those that's 50 and above, y'all know.
Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. And then when you swing this in, you hear it. Yeah. Just a couple of those right there, you ain't coming home after that. You ain't coming home after that. Now I'm not saying go whoop nobody, y'all. Please don't call the cops on me. All right. I'm saying
that's what happened.
That's what happened to us, and it worked.
For some,
yeah.
Still was disobedient.
Some can get a whooping. Yeah, some can get a whooping. You can whoop them. They're like it never happened.
Yeah, they get a spanking. It didn't matter.
Yeah, they be hit me harder.
Somebody said, "Was you grown, Pastor?"
Huh?
Were you grown?
No, I wasn't grown.
You thought you was, huh?
Yeah, I was. Listen, y'all, I was grown at 12 years old.
Yeah, that's why you got that whooping, huh?
I thought I was grown. You know how you get wet behind the ears.
Well,
wet behind
her grandmother got them with whatever was in her hand.
Yeah. My mother did too. Whatever she can get her hands on, she'll throw it at you. Back then, she wasn't trying to kill us, but we sure was getting hit.
We just had some abusive parents, y'all.
Yeah. All right, y'all. It's getting late. It's 6:45. We've been on this thing for 46 minutes. Y'all know that's a little. We generally kind of stop around that time. So listen. Hopefully you all enjoyed this broadcast. Hopefully you all got some nuggets. Hopefully the young people that are watching us got some nuggets. We're not trying to beat on anybody, but we are trying to let you know that there ought to be some rules according to Proverbs 29:15. All right, and other scriptures that First Lady has given us. You're not doing anybody no favors by letting your children just come in or even in your home, no matter what the age, come and go when they choose.
Tough love, y'all.
Tough love. All right.
Tough love. So if you haven't subscribed,
listen, hit that subscribe button right there on your YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, give us a thumbs up. Say something good about us. We out here in the heat talking about some discipline and some curfew. You don't want to miss next week. I'll tell you what that'll be next week. Sometime this week coming up. All right.
Send us their, questions too.
Send us your questions. Listen, inbox us some questions so that we can talk to you about it. Okay. All right. Love everybody and keep on watching. You ask, we answer. And in all thy getting, get understanding. And we both know a little bit about a whole lot. Now, what was you going to say?
Nothing.
All right. Y'all be blessed.
Love y'all. Good night.
Let's give them a kiss. Now go whoop that behind.
No.
No, don't do it. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it because we don't want to go to jail. Don't whoop them. Don't whoop them.
I mean, you.
Discipline.
Anyway,
discipline. All right.
Y'all do what y'all do. We didn't tell you what to do.
Yeah, we didn't tell you because we ain't going to jail. All right. See y'all later. God bless y'all. Everyone, have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.